Hey folks, John with Complete Technology Solutions, your friend in the computer business. Man, I love boxes, don't you? Let's get right to it. All right, guys, so none of you guys that know me, and I mean this literally, you all know, I am a big fan of Byrna. I always have been. These guys are the OGs in the business, man. We are talking about the original heavy-duty pepperball launchers before anybody was a pepperball launcher. And I have a lot of respect for them. Now, today what we're going to be looking at is a model that I am a little wary about, and I'll show you why. Now, before we start it, look, you hear people say I am a fan all the time, right? And I'm a fan of this, I'm a fan of that. Guys, this is my personal Byrna collection. I am a fan. You've seen me carry these before. This is my Byrna HD. And as you can see, it's still in great shape. I have had this for literally years, and I have put more rounds through it than I can actually count, guys. And it is just a fantastic weapon, even today. Works perfectly, just like it always did. Now, I did, when the modifications came out and the expansions to go from the 8 gram to the 12 gram cartridges, I wanted to go ahead and get something like that. So if you take a look at this one, this is my Byrna SP. Now, as you can see, this has actually got the power expansion on the front there already, so that it takes the 12 gram cartridges instead of the standard 8 gram that are in there. Honestly, guys, the difference in size of the cartridge doesn't make a big difference. Between 8 and 12, you're not talking about a velocity change. All you're talking about is the amount of shots you're going to get at the end of the day. But you've heard me say it once, and I'll say it at least one more time in this video. You're going to get 5 rounds out of that magazine. 5. Now, they do have a 7-round magazine available for this. I do not know if this has got it or not, but boy, I am really hoping, I'll tell you that much. So, but as you can see, I'm clearly a fan. Now, I'm going to keep the HD out because I have a suspicion, and we're going to check this together. So, today, the Byrna EP. Now, the reason I chose this one, guys, and you know, all of my YouTube friends out there, and especially all of you non-lethal guys, and you all know who you are. Yes, I'm talking to you. Everybody jumped on the LE. They're like, Byrna released the new LE. That's the law enforcement edition, which is essentially an extended version of the HD. I wasn't going to do that for 2 reasons. The first reason was because, number one, they're very expensive. And the way I see it, people are going to be looking for self-defense items, but they're going to be looking for self-defense items that they can afford. These things are $299. That's it. You're out. $299 with one full load of pepper balls. That's a really good deal. You're going to end up paying $400, $500, $600 for an LE. It's pretty extensive. Now, the other reason, and I don't understand this, guys. On the LE, they essentially installed the exact same power kit that I've got on this one, right? Why didn't they just extend that and make it a full-size weapon? I don't know why they didn't do it. I'm sure there was some sort of a design reason, and hopefully in the future they'll correct that. But that's the other reason I didn't go with it. But let's go ahead and crack open the EP, shall we? Yeah, I always get people that say, oh, he talks so much on the videos. But you know what, guys? I want to make sure that anytime we open anything like this, that you guys see everything exactly the way I'm seeing it. I like to be surprised with you. By the way, box, pretty standard. Nope, nothing special about that. Now, what I'm hoping is, man, Byrna, their packaging, they are so wonderful. Every one of their weapons comes in stuff like that. So let's hope this one does too. We shall see. All right, cracking her open and all right, you know what? No. Reserving judgment. Here we go. Byrna packaging is some of the nicest I have ever seen, and I mean on any of the less than lethals. Even some of the higher end brands like Salt Supply and all that, they'll come in a generic plastic gun case, but they're not as impactful as these. But when I open this up, guys, that's what I saw. That is a cardboard box, and that's pretty much it. All right, let's reserve judgment, right? Reserve judgment. That is what we got. Other than that, packing slip and some paper. Okay, let's take a look at this thing and see what we actually get in here. The box, okay, it's pretty but it's still a cardboard box compared to what we normally get from Byrna. So, and I know it's probably cost cutting. On the back, you actually have a little target if you choose to want to shoot your box, but okay. Cracking her open. And in here, we've got the regular Byrna manual. Now, guys, Byrna does put out a fantastic manual. I mean, you look through this thing, it's thick, it's dense, it's got instructions on everything. It's a really, really well-written manual. So I do suggest if you're new to these, pick one of these up and learn them. You also get your registration card. Once again, register your Byrna, because if you don't, your warranty, you got to register it. And you get their, what they call their Byrna. I love these guys. These are funny. They're called member cards, right? Now, one thing I think is actually really kind of cool about this is if you look at the picture real close, I'm going to try to get the glare off of it. It's got kind of a neat little technical breakdown of what's inside this weapon. That's really cool. I've never taken a Byrna apart yet, but I will, because now I know what it looks like on the inside. That's pretty cool. So, but back here, you've actually got the little card that you would carry along with you. It tells people that this is a non-lethal. It is TSA approved if it's checked in bags. That's actually pretty cool too. So, all right, getting down to the launcher. All right, that is the Byrna EP. All right, it comes with one 8 gram CO2 cartridge. Quit your whining. We'll get to that in a minute. It comes with one package of it looks like the pepperballs. Let me verify that. And yes, that is their pepperball projectiles. That is 5 rounds, which to me means that we're dealing with a 5-round magazine still. We'll check that too. And here is the actual weapon itself. That is the Byrna SD EP. So, guys, okay, I got to look at this because something about this is throwing me off. That looks identical, and I do mean identical to a standard HD. And I'm going to put these side by side, guys. Look at that. They are the exact same weapon. I do like this contouring on the grip. That's kind of nice, too. It's kind of give you a little extra grip to it. But the only major difference that I see is the deletion of the safety. Okay, all right. We are going to reserve judgment, guys. So there was a reason for this, and it wasn't just a cost-saving thing. If you've got somebody, for some reason, and I'll give you a basic understanding of how Byrnas function, all right? On a Byrna, if you've got the weapon on safety, you pull the trigger, that charges the CO2. Then you place it on fire, and it will fire your first round at full power. However, if on the same weapon, you keep it on fire, and you just pull the trigger with an unpunctured CO2 cylinder, you will fire your first round downrange, and it goes downrange at about half the velocity of the following 4 or 5 rounds you've got in there. The concept of that was, I guess that a lot of people, they couldn't quite get that down. Go to safety, fire, bam, in a self-defense situation. So they wanted something that you would literally pull out of your pocket, pull out of your purse, whatever, and just bam, 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 start firing. So I understand that. Now, it looks like they did redesign the trigger quite a bit on this one. It's actually got that same paddle trigger that they have on the other model over there, whereas the HD had the curved trigger. That looks like, guys, my hands are pretty big. You've seen this. So if I put my finger in there, you see how it kind of touches right there? I could see, you hear that? I could see that being a little bit of a deterrent. On this one, you see how it just slides right in. I mean, right where it needs to go because of that curvature right there. I'm not a fan of that, guys. Once you're in there, you're probably going to be okay. This would all boil down to practice. If you're used to this model and you get this model, you're going to want to practice with it to get used to that weird trigger pull feel. Other than that, as far as the tension, they are almost identical. So it's the exact same weapon. It's just a little bit of a trigger design, okay? Once again, not insurmountable. So, all right, where are we? Redesigned trigger. Not real fond of it, but it's okay. We're still using 8 gram cartridges. Once again, not real fond of it. It's okay, and I'll explain why in a second. Magazine. Now, that is a 5-round magazine, guys, just like the other one, which means that these are 99% totally compatible with each other. They're interchangeable. Why they did not put the 7-round magazine, and guys, they do have a 7-round magazine for this that staggers the rounds to give you 7 shots instead of 5. And I don't know why they wouldn't have included it on the new models. unless it's that I did hear they were having some issues with that magazine, which may be why they elected not to. But I know it is an aftermarket option for this gun. So, all right. I want to tell you 8 gram cartridges. Don't freak out about these 8 gram CO2 cartridges, and this is why. They are regular seltzer cartridges. And I'll point this out and again here in a minute when we go to the range to make sure people don't forget. But guys, look, it's not a strange round. A strange cartridge. Back in the day when Byrna first released this weapon, these were hard to find, and Byrna did kind of have a lock on the market. So that did it was a little point of contention because they're like, well, why are you releasing a weapon with a proprietary cartridge that people have to buy from you? That's not the case anymore. You can literally get these anywhere, and I'm going to throw a link down there in the description just to prove that to you. They're dirt cheap, so don't worry about that. You're not losing velocity. You're losing the amount of shots you're fired, but guess what, guys? You're going to get 5. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, and Byrna will tell you definitively not to do this. You can load 6 rounds in there. Because of the way the Byrna is chambered in there, you can put a round up in there and then put another one in the magazine and put all of it in together. Now, they tell you not to do that. I don't know if it's a stress on the system or what it is, or if it's because people were hulking and gorillaing these things and slamming in a pepperball magazine and blowing up pepperballs inside the gun. Which, by the way, if you ever do, you're going to think I'm joking. If you ever crack one of your pepper balls inside of one of the Byrnas, right? Magazine, weapon, whatever. You ready? Fill your sink up with warm water. Throw it all in the sink. Seriously. Take the Byrna. Throw it in the sink. That's all you have to do. You rinse the stuff off. You set it out and you let it dry. That's how you clean out the pepper balls. This is the only weapon that I know of that you can get away with that in, which means that probably everything in here is aluminum. That's actually pretty cool. If you tried that with like an HTP 50 or something, the springs would rust. There would be problems. But with that one, throw them in the water. You think I'm kidding? Go check out their site. I'm not joking. All right, guys, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go line up on the range here. Since we are firing a Byrna, we are going to pelt a new Scully. It deserves it. Byrnas deserve a Scully, so we're going to do it. All right, guys, here we go. Moving on out there. We're going to put in at least a couple magazines through this. Oh, and we are going to test some rubber rounds that gummed this one up. Here we go. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and load up our Byrna EP. It's going to be awesome. I can already feel it. As you can see, I've actually got our chronograph set up here. I put it right under this light. Somebody told me it might have been a lighting thing that was causing the chrono issue. So we're going to find out if that's the case. So, all right, let's go ahead and load this thing up together. Drop the magazine. Using the included key, we're going to unscrew the front here. Now, guys, I want to show you something else. So the 8 gram cartridges, right? And once again, I know this is a point of contention for some people. All right, nozzle down into the weapon and screw back on the cap. There we go. Getting our cap on there. Now, guys, once again, you don't have to gorilla this. Just get it down to the level and stop right there, okay? All right, once you've actually got this in, we're gonna go ahead and load up our rounds. Now, we're gonna test with 2 different kinds of rounds today. We're gonna use the regular Byrna Kinetic rounds. Now, these are the really smooth plastic, and these are those rubber steel core balls that they had trouble with last time. I wanna see if they've addressed that in this at all. So, first round to try to get some chronos, we're gonna fire this. Then we're gonna pop Scully with a few of these, assuming they'll fire. Let's see how that goes. All right, getting out our 5 rounds here. By the way, you might notice these bags are loaded with exactly 5 rounds. That's because of the Byrna, yeah. Okay, loads the exact same way. Guys, I'd be floored if it's not the exact same magazine. It probably is. We'll check that, but looking at it, it's the same mag. So, all right, putting that in there. Now, at this point, we are ready to fire. We're gonna put on our groovy Byrna glasses, which I've got right over here. And we were talking about those seltzer cartridges, guys. Look here. Regular old, literally, seltzer cartridges. Seltzer chargers, or whatever you call them. I'll put a link down there for you. They're very cheap, guys, so don't worry about that. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on our glasses. Now, there is no safety on this. So the first time you pull that trigger, it's gonna fire. So let me get back here and we're gonna see if we can get a chrono. Hopefully we don't hit Scully, but given where I've got this aimed, we might. So we're gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna pull the trigger and fire at the same time. All right, so we are now charged. Here we go. And we did get a, what was that, a 203? Let's see if we get more out of it here. 254. 251. 251. And 249. So we're consistently in the 250 range on these rounds. What we were actually firing are 2.6 gram balls. We're gonna go ahead and I wanna fire out the next, did we hit Scully? Let me see if we hit it. Let's get our chrono out of the way because we did get some good readings. By the way, I wanna thank the user who tipped me on the lights. That was a great idea and it obviously worked, so. All right, now we did hit Scully one time. Once again, no movie magic. Bring him up here. And as you can see, we dinged him right there hard. So this Scully is printed very, very dense, guys. So what I want to do is, when we do this test, I'm going to move the camera right up on it with those hard rubber balls, and let's see what we get out of it. So, all right, I'm going to put Scully right there. And we want a fair test, so let's go ahead and fire out the rest of the CO2 and put a fresh one in here for this, because we want a fresh one. So let's see how many more shots that we actually get out of this thing. Okay, so I am guessing probably 15 shots on average. You could hear the drop off as it got around that 15 shot range. But once again, that's down to the 8 gram CO2 cartridges as well, guys. So, all right, it's dropping off that. Let's go ahead and get another 8 gram cartridge in here. There we go. Regular old seltzer cartridge this time. Nozzle down, right in there. And we're gonna go ahead and put our cap back on. Crank her down, and we're gonna load this up with those rubber balls. Now, they are heavier. By the way, and we'll talk about this in a minute too, I got something to solve that how heavy are they thing here shortly. So, all right. Let's get out these rubber steel balls. These are some pretty nasty customers, guys. I run these in the modified HDS 68 and the HDX. Even though they're rubber, they're smooth. So that kind of gives them a little bit of extra impact, and they don't jam as often in some of the weapons that are a little more prone to, you know, sticky, gummy balls. I mean, like, you've seen the salt supply, that thing will fire anything you stick in it. Byrna didn't like those rubber balls we fired last time because they had a really nasty texture to them. So, all right, let me go ahead and we're gonna move you right up here onto him again. We're gonna stay at that exact same firing position, all right? So let me tilt you down here, give you a good shot of Scully, and hopefully we don't get some kind of a ricochet that goes, if we do, it'll be a great video. All right, glasses on. All right, so once again, first shot is gonna be fire and charge at the same time. I'm expecting half velocity, so let's see what we get out of this thing. Here we go. All right, what did that do? It felt like it fired. Did it fire? I can't tell. We're gonna find out here in a second. All right, well, let's fire the next one, see if it does it. Hang on. I'm gonna try right for forehead this time. And that should be 5. Yep, we're out. All right, how did we do here? Oh, God. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second, guys. That is, I gotta back you up a little bit. Hang on a minute. Are you seeing this? That didn't only hit, it drilled into that skull. That first shot is about there, that deep into that skull. That's how hard that thing hit at that same range we were firing at. And those are those rubber balls. It fired every single one of them. Yeah, the first shot, I couldn't tell if it fired or not, but it came out with a velocity that was high enough to where I couldn't see the round. Of course, I'm looking through my cool Byrna glasses, so that's probably why. But oh my gosh, look at the depth on that hit, guys. Yikes. All right, let's go back in the office. I want to talk a little bit about this thing. I'm curious about something. Here we go. The safety will take some getting used to not having it there, but I suspect that once you get used to it and if you're practicing a lot, it won't matter anymore. Guys, this has been an interesting one. Listen, I'm sorry about the funky audio issues on this one. At the beginning of it, you may have noticed that I wasn't even using the lapel mic. That had to do with the fact that I was testing the audio on the new Stumpy to see if it would work. Well, with an air conditioner in the back, you probably caught a little of that. I'll try to filter it out and post edit, but we'll see if it does. When we were out there, I was trying to record audio directly off the GoPro to see what it would sound like. Clearly, we're staying with the lapel mic until we find a better option. So thank you guys so much for watching. Byrna, it's awesome. I know I complain about the box. This is horrible. I know that the safety is going to throw a lot of people off because a weapon without a safety is definitely something that's a little... Oh. Let's test this real quick because I suspect that the magazines are universal. And they are. So it is a universal magazine in that weapon. So that's a good thing. Other than that, guys, I have no problem with it. It's a cool little weapon. It's light. It's effective. It's powerful, clearly, and it's cheap. Have a great night. Bye-bye.